How is everyone doing today? Welcome back. So, before we even get into the concept of the video, I would like to personally say thank you all for continued support of my channels. Thank you all for continued support of the music, the beats, and overall just all of my content as a whole. Now, before, let's say this. Before this was a transition, before this transitional period was actually done, I will say at the bare minimum there are several different circumstances to how you necessarily can look at my channel now. And now that the progress is, getting a lot better, I've clearly done a lot to my channel. I have made some significant changes, which I feel have made I'm happy with it, honestly. I really am. So, that being said, excuse me. That being said, so allow me to explain the newest addition to the channel, as well as to the my company as a whole. BOC Publishing is a gradually changing scenario. We here at the channel, and I say we because it's not just me, obviously, although I am the proprietor of the whole scenario, everything that goes on with the channel. I oversee the video content, I oversee the editing and all that other stuff. I have remade this channel rather, to focus on everything that is about my family, my associates, and what we all genuinely come together and gravitate towards. So to explain further, this is because at the current time, as of the recording of this video, we are, my fiance and I, as well as my family members who I will later introduce, and developing that little concept as well, we are in the process of gaining a publishing license. Now, what that is entirely rather is I'm currently studying, well, I've been using, for example, I have recently, as of last year, for those of you who haven't heard the song or anything like that, I recently collaborated with well, not former friend, he's not a former friend, he's a friend in general, a friend of mine by the name of No Good, who you guys can also check out his channel, who he's very good at what he does. He's a very good rapper. I was very proud to collaborate with him and his associate Nico for a remix to my song So Unfair, which was a track I produced, which in its own sampled So Unfair by Shiloh Dynasty. Shout out to Shiloh Dynasty. Now, instead of the standard AMV visualizers that I'm known to do or known to use, I decided to go in Unreal Engine 5. And thanks to Unreal Engine 5 at the time, they had Unreal Engine MetaHuman, which allowed me to practically and very efficiently create a model replica of myself and basically use as the official visualizer for the track itself. And honestly, I'm actually very proud of how the MetaHuman turned out. It came very nicely. And the thing about all that is, I was so impressed with everything that I did with it. I was like, you know what, we can do more with that. So my fiance decided that she wanted to effectively, all right, baby, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look into getting us a publishing license, because outside of way before I was a YouTuber or anything like that, way before the music even, for that matter, I was a growing writer. So a lot of the projects that I did, because originally I started off as a writer on DeviantArt, which effectively became the homepage for what I was doing, and it effectively made me create, you know, the um the YouTube channel that you, well, not obviously not the YouTube channel you guys see today, but that's where it really all started. And I was working on a lot of good stuff on there. I was writing my own stories. I was transitioning between genres. Like, at the time I was working on, you know, a superhero story. Then after I finished the first set of chapters on that, I gravitated towards making a Walking Dead inspired story, which had elements from both The Walking Dead and the anime High School of the Dead. And from that point forward, I was like, you know what, this junk kind of kicking off low key. Excuse me. And it just became a thing from there. So it's like, I redeveloped the entire status of how I was doing things. And now, obviously, the transition to, talking more about creativity and expressing, like, the support of, again, on this channel, as an individual myself, I don't just support, obviously myself or whatever have you, but the concept is supporting everyone. It's not just, talking about everybody, everybody that's black or anything like that. No, we support everybody here on this channel. There's no discrepancies. There's no one group of individuals we mess with. There's no one group of individuals we don't mess with. It's just not that. And as a whole, we don't condone, discrimination of any kind. We don't do that. That's just not how we do things. We don't do that. And so while I was incarcerated, I had time to actually sit back, write a few things out, get a few things written. I was actually really proud of, how everything was looking for me. And I was like, you know what, we might have something. And I want to make this perfectly clear. Everything that I've written so far is not confirmed production. It's not confirmed to be in the process. There's no legit progress report on anything that I've written so far. It's just overall explaining to you guys how BOC Publishing is going to work, and thusly, when the time comes, I will effectively speak on the projects that have, effectively be out there with it. Because another thing is, I'm having conversation with a few people who are interested, because I did, write an outline for a few things that, okay, you know what, I'll say this. My wife wants to be, my fiance, my wife to be, wants to be a writer herself. So she herself is also working on a little something that she and I are gonna proofread, and once our publishing license comes through, we can publish it and be done with it from there. So overall, right now, there's no projects I have to genuinely talk about. There's no projects that are confirmed to be in production. None of that right now. But overall, the next coming weeks, and certain things are going to be in the move. Certain things are not going to be in the move. It's stuff we're working on this is not an on the side project. This is something that we're going to be working on while I continue to do what I'm doing on this channel as well as the other two channels. So, like I said, I hope you guys are prepared for that, because there's a lot more for me to get into with that. And yeah, we're going to get into a lot of that. So that's all I have to tell you guys for now. Stay tuned. There's much more to go with. There's much more to effectively work with. So I hope you guys are prepared. You guys have a blessed one. Stay cool.